teachers and parents also. That gap has to be filled.
So the thing that we need to meet parents first before starting our classes, because they need to understand what we are doing. They think that playing is a waste of time, and they are completely mistaken. So first they should be instructed.
Hello, Mamtaz ma'am.
Mamtaz, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear to me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Only 7 join. Hello, Patricia. How are you?
Hello, fine. And you?
Fine.
Patricia, I missed you on last week's program.
Sorry?
I missed you on last week's program.
Ah, yeah, I miss you too. Oh, but I was so busy. It was impossible for me to meet you.
Nidhi is our new guest. Welcome to Bangladesh.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on this platform. It's a lovely platform, and thank you, Mamtaz ma'am, because you're such an inspiring and innovative educator that because of this platform, everyone is able to share and collaborate.
Thank you.
Yes, we learn together.
Thank you.
That's true.
Hopefully, we will wait a bit for our invited guest.
Sure.
Jahangir sir. Jahangir sir. Hello, Jahangir sir.
Hello everyone.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার প্রোগ্রামে কি
Hello.
এখন শুরু হয়ে গেছে 7:30 দিয়েছে না 7:40 অলরেডি আপনি ফ্রি থাকলে যোগ দেন আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে জাহাঙ্গীর স্যার হ্যালো জাহাঙ্গীর স্যার Patricia,
Yes.
before joining our guest, you say something about our topic, please.
I start.
Assalamualaikum, ma'am. Roxana, ma'am.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Barialam, sir, Natur.
Natur, Barialam, sir. Welcome, sir. Our program. Patricia, please get us started.
Okay, let's start. Well, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you all today. The topic is brain-friendly learning. I think that it is the topic for all the teachers who are here present, who are trying to introduce innovation in education. It's difficult, but not impossible. So the thing is that we need to try hard. Anyway, there are different schools around the world who have already been implementing active methodologies, which are based on.
Will you join our program?
Mama, mute yourself, please.
Just start. Just start. Please, you can join.
Well, as I was saying, the thing is that these institutions are implementing active methodologies which are based on brain-friendly learning. And the results are much more than satisfactory, because today we have students who have already finished or they have already graduated, and they can explain what they have experienced during this type of education, because of course it has been present for years. That's why we have already students who have graduated, but sometimes many of them have had the experience of sharing traditional and innovative education. Well, they can see the difference very clearly. In spite of that, today, in the present state of education, we have both methodologies. There are teachers who still cling to these old habits because they think that memory repetition and mechanical drilling, both of them are effective. But students are the ones who are asking for a change because they need to become active participants. The idea is that they don't want to be passive receivers of information. That's why today we have this type of learning, which is brain-based. And it is a type of learning in which the students are directly involved. They are just asking for participation, so simple and so difficult to achieve. But fortunately, every single day, we are more teachers who are in favor of this change and who are using this type of learning. So when we use this type of learning, we mean that the students are able to learn naturally. That is to say that when they learn in this way, they are physically, mentally, and emotionally prepared. This means that the brain is alert, the body is ready, and the emotions are positive. Normally, when we use this type of education, this type of learning, the students are ready for action, because the only way of internalizing information is when they become part of it, when they have experiential learning. And this type of learning places them in the center of the process. That's why active methodologies are being so successful, because they are using this type of learning. I imagine that all of you have experienced this type of learning because, for example, I'm a drama teacher and I use the arts, which of course, they enhance the process of learning, because students become active, but at the same time, there is creativity, they unleash their imagination, and they have the possibility not only of creating, but also of thinking critically. That's why this type of learning is so useful and so successful. I would like to listen to your experiences in this type of learning.
Thank you, Patricia, for your insightful and elaborate discussions about our topic. Now we should start formally. This program is organized by We Bangladesh chapter. Welcome to We Bangladesh chapter. Our regular 5th round table sessions today, 30 March 2021. I'm truly grateful because each of my program makes your presence a success. I hope you are with me, still are, and will be in the future. In fact, our goal is to create a brain-friendly classroom for our next generation to adhere to ethics, family, discipline, society, and state discipline. I think quality education is not just about memorizing textbook lesson. I believe that the quality of education depends on life-based education system. This is why we have to set today's topic, create brain-friendly classroom to maximize student learning. Today, many talented academics from home and abroad have joined me in this group. This is our weekly program. I think we have global family, so we can complete this program successfully. I would say this a generosity of our teachers, friends from home and abroad. Anyway, we need to start the main program. My idea, this is, I think that today's topic is about brain-based learning. Brain-based learning refers to teaching method, lessons, design, and school programs that are based on the latest scientific research about how the brain learns, including such factors as cognitive development, how students learn differently as they age, grow, and mature socially, emotionally, and cognitively. Since we are all teachers here, so we will listen to our negotiators very well, then try to apply it will in our workplace and practical field. In our program, we have some speakers and some visitors. At the end of the discussion, our audience can speak questions to the negotiators if they wish. I have raised some questions on today's topic to see how much our negotiators can enrich us in their knowledge through discussions. At this stage, I will come. Nidhi Jain, please unmute your microphone.
Thank you, ma'am.
First of all, introduce yourself.
Yes. So I am Nidhi Jain, and I am a school teacher. I teach biology to 9th standard, and I teach science also to 8th standard. Also, I'm a HISA NASA Space Ambassador, teacher liaison with Space Foundation. And also I'm Scientix Ambassador also for India. So also I have deep interest in space exploration activities. And as the topic is the brain-friendly classroom. So yes, I do agree that if we talk about developing countries like India, we follow traditional methods. A lot of traditional methods are being followed in the classroom, but there is a lot of transformation going on, but that transformation is little slow. So, but the COVID, as Patricia ma'am also told, that COVID has actually accelerated the process of transformation. Yes, because there was no other option. We never thought in our lifespan that we teachers will be using means not offline classroom, we will be teaching online, like work from home we are doing nowadays. So now coming to our point of brain-friendly classroom, talking about the brain, like in our brain, there are a lot of thousands and millions of neurons are there. So those neurons are connected with each other neuron, and dendrites are there. So if we talk about from a child perspective, a child has two types of memory. One is short-term memory and one is long-term memory. So generally in traditional classrooms, what is done, the teacher is just telling them to memorize a concept and it is stored in short-term memory. And slowly, if it is repetitively used, then only some part of the information, like say suppose 10%, not 10% is so much, only 3% of the information will go to long-term memory. But now here we are talking about some brain-friendly techniques. Now it has been proven by the research that if we use the brain-friendly techniques in our classroom, all the things will get stored in the long-term memory of your brain. So the neurons becomes more activated, and even if a child has passed on and is at the age of 30s or 40s, then also all the sensory information which is stored in the long-term memory exists for longer time. Now, as even Patricia ma'am told, like before the session started, we were having discussion that there are active learning strategies like think, pair and share, using drama method, role play method, and studying a case study. So suppose you are a science teacher or a history teacher, you discuss a case study. So where the students are sharing, the experiential learning is going on. So all kinds of these methods, it will be stored in the long-term memory. Also talking about that, still, if I talk about my classroom, the challenge that we face is the number of students is always more. So where a classroom is of large size and with the time constraint, the challenge is that the teacher gets less time to invest with each student. So here is the challenge, and we still don't know how to cover up that challenge. So still that training needs to be given to the teachers. So once that training is given to the teachers, how to bring that change, how to transform the classroom with the active learning strategy. So until and unless that training, how to utilize that amount of time to get most out of them, that is still a challenge that we all face. Yes, thank you, Mamtaz.
So we share the same, Nidhi, here in Argentina. So I completely agree with you.
Yes. Now, so yes, Mamtaz, over to you.
Can we talk about the brain-friendly classroom, the characteristics?
Okay, Nidhi.
What we need.
In this stage, I have the more questions. How brain-based learning affect education?
How brain-based
Learning affected education.
Affect
Education. How brain-based learning affects education.
So yes. So when all the teachers slowly, when they start using those active learning strategies in their classroom, where we teachers we have very limited role to play as a facilitator, but students are participating more, their involvement is more. So in this way, if each and every classroom and each and every school is implementing those brain-friendly techniques and active learning strategies, then each school is going to transform and each state is going to transform. So in this way, these educational transform will bring change into the national education policy also. So right now, if I talk about my country, India, we have the national education policy coming up, which says that these active learning strategies should be part of it. And even if we talk about the learning part, but even the assessment part, that also should involve the brain-friendly techniques. Now, talking about the assessment part also, there are 3 types of assessment now which has come. Assessment for learning, assessment as learning, and assessment of learning. Now, assessment for learning is like a formative. So when you are teaching, Suppose I'll give a very good example that I feel is most appropriate. Like if you are a chef or you're cooking something, so what you do normally when you cook something, you taste before serving it. So similarly, being a teacher, being an educator, you should test immediately how you should review what is going on in your classroom. So that testing is needed before you present it to your guest. Now, that is when you present it to your guest, that is the summative assessment. That is key, that is assessment of learning. So that is the final assessment. So this is how the education can be transformed. Once it starts from each classroom, then it will go to a school and then state level, and definitely the whole country will like grow. Thank you, Mamta.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you for your discussions. From the discussions of the found, we have got necessary trainings of teachers and others important, insightful information. Thank you, Nidhi, for your important and insightful discussion. Thanks to. In this stage, I would like to request Jahangir sir, are you there? Jahangir sir, are you there? Shondeep Malaya. Hello. Shondeep sir. Hello.
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Yes, Ruxana ma'am. I'm there.
Thank you, sir, for joining. First of all, just introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Sandeep Malviya. I am from Gujarat, India, and I am a teacher of as science, maths till 10th standard. I take from 6th to 10th standard. Now, just now the madam said regarding self-assessment and everything. That is very right. We need to have that thing at the very same time. You cannot just say after 1 month that the test is going to come. That is an irrelevant thing, because whether the student mentally and physically he was present, he was not present, that we don't know. So the thing should be done very instantly at that time. Now here, madam said very correct things about it, but we should add these things also. The points which we are teaching, they should know why we are learning them. The thing teaching should be very clear. With clarity, they should also know, okay, it is relevant to them, it is useful to them, like liter, milliliter, kilogram, milligrams, and everything they are learning. We are teaching them in third standard, fourth standard, and everything over here, but they should know why they are going to learn this thing. So we should take them to the kitchen where they are going to consume the milk as in 1 liter form or half-liter form, and vegetables in kg, half kg, many other things, examples we can take them. So it becomes, while teaching, it becomes useful to them. They know exactly what is the use of these things. Like writing a letter and all, informal letter, formal letter, we tell them this is formal, this is informal. But why we write informal letter and formal letter, they should know these things also. Because as they are learning about this informal and formal letters, we should explain, or we should tell them to find a survey. What is exactly the problem happening? If something is wrong is happening, then how will you know that it is wrong? But you should be in a position to tell the concerned authorities. So at that time, you need to write an informal letter to the concerned person or concerned authority. So this way we can connect them. So the topic of learning the subject is important, as well as they know that they can use this thing in this way. So they will be more interested in learning about these things, because some students are interested in some subjects and some topic like criticism. Some like to always criticize. They take it in a positive way, they take it in a negative way. But by adapting them or utilizing their brains in this different method, we can put them in a perfect way where they can learn the use of what the subject we want to teach them. By just delivering a lecture won't be enough. We have to involve them mentally and physically and give them some good projects, concerned projects. We should also train them to have positive feedback within themselves, like multiplying 2 by 18. The answer is 36. We know it is 36. He did it also 36, but hand him a calculator, he multiplies it, he gets the positive answer 36. He did a right on multiplication, So he is happy. He is having a positive feedback within himself. At the very same instinct, he gets that impact. Okay, I did the sum very correctly. So these are some of the things, and also like positive association, which I said just now. Example: instant feedback of positiveness should be there. We should ask them questions when we are while teaching only. After teaching of 5 to 10 minutes, we should ask them questions to see whether they are attentive or not, as well as they also feel that the answer is coming up. They are able to discuss with us. In the same way, we should help them with another important thing is prioritize the information. Whatever subjects we are teaching or whatever topics are being taken, they should know which topic is to be taken first, which topic should be taken later on. Like some students are very good in learning big answers, lengthy answers, and very quickly they learn. They memorize very fast. So they should go for the bigger answers. Then they should not go for the smaller ones. And some are very dull. So they should self assess themselves, okay, what they can learn beforehand. Either they can learn the objective part first and make the question answer simple for them, or they can learn the question answers first and then the fill in the blanks and other part. So this isolation of these topics should be done by themselves, and they should understand, and we should help them in this thing so that they can not take the stress on their head. Okay? They are not dejected or they don't get a negative setback. If, because some students answer very fast, some don't. So they get a negative setback. Okay, I was not able to answer. They get depressed. They take the education as a stress. So the stress level can be decreased in this form. Another is we should not, we know that there are two types of memory, as Nidhi madam said: short term memory and long term memory. Short term memory is like brushing the teeth. Again and again you do the same and the same thing, it goes into your long term memory due to the presence of neurons and all. That is obvious. So we should try to make the students understand what is short term memory and what is long term memory. If you have got if the child has a short term memory, we should show them the techniques of using toothbrush method, go on reading again and again, once, twice, thrice, so that they can put the same data inside the long term memory. So these things are the some of the methods we can always use to improve their what do you say, atmosphere in the classroom. Unite them together so that they are all together, make groups, make strong who are very uh, high scorers, make them the leaders, so those leaders can train the weak students over there, so they are not dejected with that. So that will create a, I feel, which will be a better atmosphere. And we all teachers, as we are united from past long time, we should come together, find more ways and discuss. That's all, ma'am. I feel it's, I was clear, I feel.
Yes, of course. And I think that here, according to what you have said, together with Nidhi, there are four main ingredients present in brain friendly. First of all, emotions. They cannot be absent. They are essential.
Yes.
Because positive emotions have a great impact on learning. Then attention. Attention should not be asked. Attention is gained. And when the students are paying attention, they become intrinsically motivated. And when they are motivated, motivation opens the door to curiosity. And when they are motivated, they are engaged. And when they are engaged, they want to take part in the process of learning. This means that the fourth ingredient is participation. They want action, and they really learn when they apply what they learn in real life situations. That's why the practical part of the process of learning is the most important, because it is in this precise moment when the students are connecting what they are learning in real life situations. That's the only way of proving if what they are learning is useful or not. Otherwise, the information is forgotten.
Yes,
thank you very
even
much.
I really appreciate Malviya sir's point related to lesson plan, that they should be the objectives. Basically, the learning outcomes should be very specific. If the learning outcomes are not designed by the teacher, then the teacher will, the outcomes will not be perfect. So those outcomes should be perfect. And one of the strategies of a brain-friendly classroom that I found something which is very innovative and very less practice, even in foreign countries, even in Western countries, we say this innovative pedagogy is not practiced, that is additive curriculum. So additive pedagogy, additive curriculum pedagogy is a new pedagogy which is very less used. Suppose there is a teacher who is teaching first standard and there is a teacher who is teaching second standard. Always a second standard child should be doing a collaborative project with the first standard child. This has proven, and there is a still research is being going on, and even I'm a researcher, and my research is based on the usage of additive curriculum in classrooms, in school, and for the digital choreography of excellence. Because suppose there is a child in 5th standard, and there is a child in 8th standard, and there is a child in 12th standard. There should always be a link, because right now we are following a subtractive curriculum. When we are designing, there is a piece of cloth and we have to design a shirt, right? What we are doing, we are just cutting and other parts are getting extracted. We are removing the unnecessary thing. In our school life, we have learned integration, differentiation, that we have subtracted, because right now we are in whatever career we follow, we have subtracted everything. And what is needed, we are using that only. But additive curriculum, what is additive curriculum? Is adding on to the information. So the brain network, the networking becomes powerful. The neuroscience behind the studies of a child, because ultimately when he grows up, he has to link his path to a career ultimately. So this additive curriculum will be bringing transformation. We are saying that project-based learning, inquiry-based teaching, learning, it is proven. But right now, if we are telling as a teacher, suppose I am teaching 9th standard, so I am telling my children, okay, in a project, was there some from my side? It was some technical glitch, or?
No, it's the Zoom. The Zoom. It's not a paid Zoom, so it gets disconnected.
Okay.
The moment 1 hour is over, it gets disconnected.
Okay.
Okay, Nidhi, get start your space.
Yes. So I was saying is normally a teacher who is teaching one standard, like because the timetable is placed in such a manner, the teacher is teaching one class or 2 different classes. It is very important to connect different levels also. A 7th standard child should also connect with 8th standard child. So a 7th standard child will also come to know the difficulties, the kind of expectation which the next level will have. So my emphasis will be on to use the project-based learning and the inquiry-based learning, but using additive curriculum.
Yeah, so that additive curriculum is also known as the constructivist theory. You construct the knowledge. So that is the complete constructivist theory that we use. And as you rightly said, yes, peer learning and peer teaching holds it holds a lot of importance. So in a creative classroom, that is if you really need to have a brain friendly classroom, then a brain friendly classroom calls for a lot of peer interaction. Yeah, anyway, I'll add to it once my turn comes to it. I'll add to it more. Yeah.
Thank you, Shagorika. I know that you are new champ. So,
hello, Mamta. Hello.
Oh, hello, Kundasuk. How are you?
Hi, yeah. Related this topic, I want to share one of my project. Only give me 1.5 minutes. May I?
Okay. Yes.
Yes. As Nidhi said now that students from one class to another class, they have to collaborate with each other.
Kundo, just I have interrupted to you. First, introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Kunda Bacha from India. Hi, Nidhi ma'am. Hi, Sagrika ma'am. Hello, everyone. Hello. As now Sagrika ma'am said that peer learning is very important, and related this subject, I implemented a project in my class, and that project was selected in from Delhi, and I got award for this project. that is adopt a friend, Dattak Maitrin. In Marathi, we call it Dattak Maitrin, adopt a friend. In my school, I implemented it for a whole my school. In my school, I did a thing that in our class, some students are good in math, some students are good in English. Means every student is unique and every has a skill for a specific subject. And I use that quality of that students, and I gave them a chance. If any student is weak in math, he any student is good in math, that though the student is good in math, he adopt that weak student for the study for whole year. And this project was so successful in my school, and I got so many good results from all our students from my school. As our topic, brain friendly classroom, how to use that project, and I took the help of my students. So my class environment of my classroom was very friendly. They are so all responsible for their adopted friends, and they know all things about him, in which topics he was weak, in which topic he need help. And so the our class was a happy class for known for in our Nasik city. And it was this project was adapted by other schools also from our Nasik. Thank you so much. I took a little time for it. Actually, it was not my turn, but thank you so much for giving me a chance.
Thank you, Kunda, for your elaborate sharing. In this stage, I would like to Shagurika.
Yeah.
Just introduce yourself for my audience.
Okay, fine. I'm Dr. Sagrika Roy Bhatia. Most of you all have seen me. I've been on this platform twice before, and I've been into the field of education for last 24 years. I'm also the author of the book Just Expressions. I'm there on all social media platforms. You will get to know more if you just Google my name. So I would speak less here, and let's not waste too much of time, and let's deep dive into the topic. If you want to know more about me, you can just Google my name. You'll get all my details. Thank you very much.
I have a question to you, Shagurika. Please attention me. What are the main challenges facing teachers in teaching learning? What are the main challenges?
Okay, fine. That's a good question. Thank you, Mumtaz, for the question. See, challenges now, when we are talking, are you asking me challenges with respect to the brain-friendly classroom? Are you, Mumtaz, are you asking me with respect to brain-friendly classroom, or are you asking me in general?
No, the brain-friendly classroom, I think.
Yeah, the brain-friendly classroom, exactly. So now the thing is that the challenge is, first of all, the challenge that the teacher has is that the teacher doesn't know how does the brain work. None of our B.Ed colleges actually deep dive into what are the specifications of a left brain and a right brain. So whenever the teacher is dealing with a lesson, so the teacher has to balance a lesson in such a way that the brain is taken care of. When I talk about the brain, that means I mean to say that 60% of learning takes care is only through visuals, because the brain understands visuals the best. So if you really want to get into what the child is doing, you need to get through visuals. So that is one concern, that is in a 30-35 minutes class, if the teacher only just has to show a visual and not talk, so that again there is a conflict there. So I think the challenge that a teacher faces, this particular challenge could be erased if you can give a block lecture. If you can give a block lecture of say 35-40 minutes wherein visuals are also shown and the teacher also speaks, so you can keep the creativity. The left brain, I mean the right brain speaks about creativity, the left brain is the analytical brain. So the child can use the left and the right brain equally while attaining that particular class. Then the second challenge is that a teacher faces is that timetabling. Timetabling is not in the teacher's hand. Timetabling always comes from the coordinator or comes from the principal's office, or it comes from a non-B.Ed person, because it's the office, the back-end office that takes care of the timetabling. So now if you have a timetable wherein you have back-to-back analytical subjects, like if you have maths, you have science, back-to-back maths and science, these are all analytical subjects. And if you have back-to-back, then the child is not learning. The child is not learning at all. You need to have one analytical subject, one creative, that is one English in between, then maybe a social studies, then maybe a science, and then maybe a music class. And thereafter, again, you can go into the heavy duty. So this is another challenge that a teacher faces, is that the timetabling is not done according to actually a brain-friendly timetable. That is another area. The third area that the teacher faces is a constraint that the teacher faces is the furniture of the classroom. When we speak about project-based learning, when we talk about inquiry-based learning, project-based learning, experiential learning, if we want to concretize learning, learning has to be more, when we said it has to be with peers. So our furniture in the classrooms are such that you can't move the furnitures of a classroom. So where can you have a collaborative learning space? Collaborative learning space actually aids learning. It aids learning. The child gears up with creative juices. So, but has to communicate. Where is the place to communicate? Because the furniture doesn't permit that at all. So that is another constraint that teachers and the education system today is facing. Then let's talk about bite-sized information. It is always said that children can learn better if you give them bite-sized information. But now teachers have only 30-35 minutes because they have cramped up the timetable in such a way. In 30-35 minutes, the teacher is vomiting out everything, just vomiting, because the syllabus has to be complete, just vomiting. So where is the child grasping? The child is just staring. Just because the teacher is vomiting, the child is just staring. There is no learning. Absolutely no learning is happening. Learning is defeated in this case. Totally defeated. So we need to understand that when we're talking of a brain-friendly classroom, it has to be bite-sized information given to the children. And if this bite-sized information is not given to the children, then let me tell you, we are actually fooling ourselves. It's just fooling ourselves. It is not education at all. Yeah. So then these are few things that we really need to look into. And also it is said that if you're talking about brain-friendly classroom, your teaching and learning process should be such that it arouses the child's learning. When I say arouses the child's learning, the child should be able to secrete dopamine, serotonin. These are the happy hormones. These are the happy hormones that should happen when the child is in the classroom. But if you see, most of the time, the child is very sluggish because lack of water. The teacher says, don't drink water in between. If you drink water, you'll be disturbing the class. So don't drink water. So the child is also dehydrated. The child is fatigued because there's so much of information. Every 35 minutes, imagine one teacher comes and is vomiting, another teacher comes and is vomiting. Imagine that the fatigue on the brain, this absent, the child is fatigued. So this is not happening. This is absolutely not happening. So it's a very beautiful topic today, Mumtaz. You have chosen really wonderful topic that we need to have a very brain-friendly classroom. And really the teachers have their own challenges because they are paid by the lessons that they complete. If they don't complete the lessons, again, there are a lot of questions. So I think the whole education system needs to turn around and look into a more brain-friendly, child-friendly classroom. I have much more to discuss, but anyway, I would give others a point. And then later on, if I get chance, I will again speak more about it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sagarika, for your great sharing. In this, I would like to Shamsuddin Talukdar sir. Are you there? Talukdar sir. Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Hello. Yes.
Okay, I'm seeing very famous faces around me with their beautiful smiling. That's good. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
You all are really very great because Mamata's already created a friendly environment. That's why you are joining here. So this is the route. How should we change by ourselves? Why you are here? Why you are talking? What's inspired you to come and cross? That is the answer, obviously. We fail to make our children to
100%.
join in any activity from their own, spontaneous. We always pressing them to take part in the class. So we have to think newly. Some very important points are coming out. Many of you are now doing research because research have no end date. For a particular country and for a particular situation, research area is changing. But in general, human brain is working in a particular way. Still now, the research is just starting. Because before that, we are not talking too much about our brain and how it is functioning. That's a very important thing. And how the brain is changing. First of all, I would like to mention one important thing, especially in third world. When our children take birth, or when the children is within the womb of a mother, she or she might not getting a proper nutrition. Malnutrited children are coming out. So from the very beginning, struggling for understanding had already been started. So for a nation, for a country, or for a community, we have to ensure the proper nutrition of mothers and children. Because you know, if we don't get any proper nutrition, our brain will not develop in a proper way. In one seminar before 5 years, you know, Dr. Yunus, I was there. When they were talking about the forest and the cutting of the tree, I simply told them, some people who are living in the city or in the capital, they are taking more intact, more input than what they need in terms of calorie or in terms of nutrition. But if you go to the rural area, really they are not getting proper nutrition. So both are in malfunctioning position. Those who have a very big amount of money, they're rich men, still now they are in a position where they cannot think properly, because overloaded nutrition sometimes destroyed the nervous system, understanding, and imbalanced chemical equivalency in our body. So if we think newly, and in Australia, in Griffith, I told, if you come to our country, I can give you a challenge that our children are highly intellectual. And I told them, if any children of my country start to see it will be raining, so they start to bring their cattle to the home. They already go to the small villages, and they are just praying the birds. They're going to the top of the trees, and they're getting out the birds, and then they will just pay, then they will just leave it. Even, you know, in our country, or even in your country, it is very simple. When the wave of river is going in a direction, the fish is always trying to fight against that wave. So whenever you are just making any hindrance within that simple canal, the fish will start to jump. Then the children will catch that. And if you go, though this is not legal, but in our country, many children are working in very risky places. For example, in workshop, they are just handling the lathe machine and other machines. Sometimes the children are going back to the vehicles, and they're just calling the people to come on. So they're managing. It means if we are able to create the proper environment within them, they will able to learn more and more. You know, constructivism is very important, because all the people on earth, they really start to grow up with a lot of experience within them, surrounding them. So where's the task of a teacher inside the classroom to make the thing friendly? Many theories are showing us why, but all are not complete. Now we are thinking, how should we just take all the theories and to apply in a particular form? That's very important. And now, all over the earth, people are thinking about this stream, project-based learning, and so many others. I would like to say one example from Japan. You know, Japanese people are very much active. They even don't need any vacation. They feel uneasy when they got vacation. So this is really very important. And due to that, they are not able to take proper care of their children. Always they're in the working place. Even when they become retired from the working place, they make suicide by themselves because they have no work. Is really irrigated. You know, the term is irrigated. They just suicided by themselves using knives. So government thought, how should they make their children activated and understandable? So they started a project. It's 200 kilometers far from the Tokyo. They make a very big building and they recruited teachers. Their curriculum was distributed in that way. In the same time, 5 or 6 teachers will teach same thing, but in several corners. So whenever the children think I have to do some drawing, he is going to that teacher. Someone is thinking I have to do some math, he is going in another place. If some students are thinking, oh, we have to sit together and talk with one another, what can we do? Let us go in that way. The result was very unique because every children got the freedom to think. Every children, they start to think, okay, how should I play with my partner and how should I win in the game? So competitive atmosphere was driven there. That is the reason. Before this, Dr. Shagorika told about the hormone, serotonin, dopamine, and so other hormones that just release in the brain. So they feel excitement, but they don't become too much furious, but they feel enjoy. And at the same time, another important thing is that I totally agree that the time should not be fixed within the class. Because in a class, every children is not in a same criteria. Teachers should give attention, particularly everyone in a particular area. Maybe some are auditory learner, some are listening music, some are habitual to write something, some are like to gossip with one another. Whenever we are blending all the characters in the same basket, then it is really very big problem. But still now, Nidhi did an experiment when she allowed the children in a group work. They are exchanging their ideas and really very good result is coming out. Still now, this is not a superior something, but they are working. So learning pattern should be done in that way. Teacher should be fill up the gaps. She should not tell everything. Children will think by themselves. Patricia also mentioned 4 or 5 characteristics which have driven the children to work together, allow them to come together. But still now, she mentioned it needs a time. Even in some school, when one class is shifted to another class, children are not getting any time to relax by themselves. Immediately another teacher is coming and every teacher is giving home tasks. This is something very dangerous. When a children is taking at least 5 or 6 class, if you allow them 6 home tasks, how should he or she will cover it? You have to give them some fun. They will come out with the result of a fun. But the teacher should be careful and it need research. What sort of fun should be provided to the student through which we can achieve our target and goals? So thereby lesson plan is very important. And to writing lesson plan and exercising lesson plan is really another challenge because the teacher is getting to prepare in one way, but inside the class, sometimes it is not supporting her or him. So how should he derive from that lesson plan? In that way, the lesson plan should be done for 3 to 4 hours with other teacher. Maybe it depends on the age of the children and class of the children. Suppose there is the English, math, and maybe geography. So you have to make the lesson plan in such a way. The activity should be gone in that way. In the same activity, they will get the 3 concepts or 3 types of understanding. If then the time is more, no problem, because 3 class has already been fused. So ultimately, teacher will get the freedom, children will get the freedom to go to the target. Right now, we are thinking about our brain, how it is working, but this is very difficult to depending on our brain and understanding to make an environment. Because you know, if you want to make such kind of environment, you have to include parents, teacher, student, and you need a lot of space. You need a lot of teachers. Because if you think individually how his or her brain is working, if you want to make him understand, then you have to give more attention to a particular student. But within the class, there is no time to give more attention to a particular student. Another important thing, what I think, that is, we have to train up our parents. This is very important. To make a classroom friendly, we need some participation of the parents. If the parents in the home, if they start to play game with his children, in this pandemic, if you just watch, children are learning too much because they're now going to the kitchen room. They're listening their grandmothers. Where there is a grandmother, they're listening their mothers, and even they're chatting with their friends with a lot of ideas. Sometimes they are writing some poems, some drawing. And the question is that they're doing this randomly. But if we just make one program, within that, how should they gain the target of the curriculum? Then it will be really wonderful. In our coming situation, we have to think newly, how should we adjust with this present situation and how should we change our school? And for that, we need to change our books, our strategy, our playing materials, and we have to give them support. You know, the challenge is too much because everything is increasing very highly. Before 20 years, the knowledge volume, maybe you just think there's a 1. In comparison of that, now the knowledge volume is 30. So the knowledge volume is increasing very quickly. To adapt with that knowledge volume, we have to change the activity inside the classroom, and we have to interconnect it with all these subjects. It means we have to blend all the things with very critical thinking. So we need a cooperation and collaboration. Right now, you are here, we are talking, we are collaborating, we are cooperating. Maybe in future, we can take a small project. Maybe Patricia or Shagorika take one action, and maybe she will think, how should we change the school? So her idea may be thrown to us, then we can do a small research in our school and we will submit the result. So some new thing will come out. How the regional factor are affecting, how the teacher are affecting. Especially if you go to the USA, still now USA is a lake of their mathematics teacher. They're very weak in mathematics because they're not able to adapt with the mathematics because they're usually using calculator and other things. But in India, if you come here, children are very genius. They can do their math within 2 or 3 minutes because they're exercising it without calculator. They're talking with one another. So such kind of thing we should be introduced in our school. And really, I would like to give thanks Mamata's what she has already done, friendly atmosphere for us in a virtual world. That's really very good. Everyone is now thinking you have to left some of the point. If I can add that point, it will be more good. I know still now everyone is thinking newly. Maybe we will listen again from you all. Thank you very much, Mamatas, to knock me because I forgot that today she has a webinar and I was just sleeping. She rang me. And again, I would like to thanks everyone for allowing me to listen your valuable opinion and thinking.
Thank you, Shamsuddin Talukdar sir, for your great sharing. Here we can see Mariana Romero from Peru. Are you there? Mariana? Hello, Mariana. Are you there? Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi. Good morning. Mariana, I'm from Peru.
Good morning, Mariana.
Happy.
Would you like to talk about today's topic? Hello, Mariana.
Hello.
Hello.
Hola. Hello. Hi.
Hello, we are listening you. How are you?
How are you?
Oh, we all are very fine. So we are still alive.
All fine, ma'am. Just continue, please. Waiting to hear you.
I would like to listen to your opinion, Mariana.
Share your ideas.
Okay, okay. In this stage, I would like to here we can see Dr. Sangita Mahajan. Sangita ma'am, please, are you there? Hello, Sangita Mahajan. Dr. Sangita Mahajan.
Yeah, ma'am. I will. Yeah, yeah. Good evening to all of you. I will share after 10 minutes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay.
Can you
Jahangir
please?
sir.
Okay.
Jahangir sir. Hello, Jahangir sir.
What about Mariana? Can she speak?
Mariana, would you like to talk about today's topic?
Mariana, are you there?
In this stage, I would like to Dr. Patricia.
Hello, Mariana. Would you
Mariana,
please share?
are you listening to us?
I
don't
think there's a
think
network.
Okay, I
issue.
think Dr. Shagurika wants to tell something. Initially,
I
they
think
told
there's a
me
network
whenever
issue,
you
Mariana.
get the
After 10
time,
minutes.
share something.
After 10 minutes. Patricia, Patricia, please attention me. What is the role of emotions in a brain-friendly approach to 21st century teaching and learning?
Okay. Well, you know that, first of all, we are emotional creatures. First, we feel and then we reason. So emotions are very important.
Hay problem, señal.
Signal
Yes,
problem.
I
we have
problem.
noticed. Yes.
Internet. I problem internet.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't speak?
She has an internet problem.
Yes, yes, I know. So she won't be able to speak. It's a pity because she's from Peru and it would be nice to listen to her own experience there. But anyway, I don't think she's able to.
Please,
Are you listening to us, Mariana?
Yeah,
No.
see, she's written in the chat box.
Ah, she's writing the prayer. Okay, so she won't be able to speak then. Okay, I'll continue then.
Yes.
Well, the thing is that emotions are very important and we are responsible for creating a special atmosphere which invites children to the process of learning. Normally, the brain pays attention to stimuli which are accompanied by emotions. For example, if I ask you, do you remember what you ate for lunch last Tuesday? Probably you won't be able to tell me anything. But if that lunch was a special occasion for you, or probably the meal made you sick, you will remember the lunch that you had on Tuesday. So you see how we are able to remember things when they are closely connected with emotions. Events that are not important are usually forgotten. That's why emotions are so important in the process of learning. And it is our responsibility to prepare our students for this. How can we prepare them for this important event? I think that normally the process of learning is not given the importance it deserves. In order to prepare our students, what we can do is to welcome them individually. This is something that makes them good because they feel that they are identified. Hello, Sam. Hello, Peter. Hello, Alice. How are you? Have you done anything important this week? So this shows that the teacher knows her students very well. Or we can introduce some warm-ups. For example, we may devote 5 or no more than 8 minutes to doing exercises. It may be breathing, physical stretching, brain gym, or coordination activities. I normally do them with my students and they work perfectly well because this type of activities alert their brain and so they are prepared for the process of learning. When a student, for example, has positive feelings, 2 chemicals become active, endorphins and dopamine. Endorphins are related to this feeling of happiness, and dopamine provides or gives the individual the possibility of being active, attentive. But when the student shows negative feelings, another chemical appears and it is the cortisol. So the brain feels that he's attacked. So it shifts away from the process of learning so that he can deal with this problem the student is having. For example, he may feel anxious because what the teacher is explaining is not easy for him. It is very difficult. So he gets blocked. And the process of learning.
Fight or flight mode. He gets into the fight or flight mode.
Sorry?
He gets into the fight or flight mode.
Yes, that's right. Okay. So,
and you know, that's very important. The hormone effect to our kidney. Ultimately, it goes to the heart, and our heartbeat will become more and more. A student became sweating. She did not feel easy to make any exercise. Thank you. Patricia, go on.
Okay, so there is a saying that goes, in learning, too much, too fast won't last. It is a play on word, but it's true. Sometimes we are pressed for time and we want to finish the contents that should be given on a particular period of time, but we never pay attention if our students are really learning. So I think that first things first, we need to pay attention to the way they are learning. That's why feedback is so important. And it is also so absent in our classrooms. Why? Because as we are still dependent on this traditional model and the system still is traditional, what is important is the marks. And a mark is not indicating that a student is able to use, for example, a particular content in a real life situation. He tends to know the content by heart and it is usually forgotten. The idea is that when we use feedback, we provide the students with metacognitive strategies that are usually absent. And this lack of feedback is present at all levels, even in higher education. And this is very serious, a very serious problem, because every student needs to know how they are progressing. When you are a child, you may come to your teacher and say, Miss, am I learning? Am I a good student? Oh, of course. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yes, my darling, you are great. Keep on like that, you may say. But with a student who is at university or at college, he won't do something like that. He will directly ask you, Miss, do you think I'm ready to sit for the final examination? If they are asking, it is because they need that type of information, because a mark is not enough. Normally they say, is this content included in the test? So it's not a question of learning. It is a question of knowing what are they supposed to study. So these situations should be changed, because our main aim is to help our students learn contents in order to be able to apply them in real life situations. It's not a question of teaching them to study contents. Otherwise, we are not fulfilling our main aims. So another important component besides emotions is everything, because the type of learning that is offering a method that is brain-based is holistic. It is holistic because it considers the students as a whole. The student does not learn with his mind. He learns with his mind together with his body and with his emotions. And when he feels that he's learning in that way, he feels that all his senses are working. They are all alert. And remember that one of you said that each child is unique and they have special characteristics which defines the group they belong to. That's why we cannot give the same type of activities to group A and the same to group B, because we can say, well, my students in group A were successful, but those in group B may be having a problem because they were not successful. But it is our fault because we have not taken into consideration the type of students we are having. So we are not working brain friendly in this case. We are not considering what we are having in the class, the type of students we are having, especially today that we have a diverse classroom with students with different talents and capacities. One of the most important roles of the teacher is to discover the type of potential they bring to class. So when we have a methodology which is brain-based, all these elements are taken into account. And our teaching and their learning, both of them are successful because we are trying to pay attention to those aspects of teaching and learning that are crucial to be successful on both sides, teachers and students.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yes, the one important thing is that intrinsic motivation is driven every children to learn from them. So what are the ways to make the environment for intrinsic motivation? Usually many teachers use many negative words in the classroom. This is too bad, too bad. You have to make everything positive. And whenever they got the idea, okay, if I do it, I will get another new challenge and I will feel more pleasure. So they will driven in that way. You know, right now in our country or in all over the world, blockchain is a very unique program. You know, Bitcoin is running through due to blockchain program. If you put everything in a box, there is a possibility to lose everything at a time. But if you have divided all the things within the smaller box, then you can join with one another. If you even lose one box, you can get the idea. Like that, in a class, we have to break down the concept in a smaller portion.
Bite size, bite size.
We have to make a small bite. And that if he missed one bite, due to his intelligence and forward thinking, he will able to make a connection and he will never forget it. So in every welcome back. I would like to finish it within one or two sentences. So we have to think out of box. In every situation, how should we make it a small bite for the children? And we have to make some gap within that bite. We have to empty some of the box. So they will get a challenge to fill up the box. And whenever they are just jumping from one box to another box, when they will say, oh, this is a blank, how should we fill up it? So automatically dopamine will come out. So they will start to take some of the challenges. What are the things we have to put here? Unfortunately, in our class, because the strain of time, strain of syllabus, strain of pressure of principal or a managing committee, strain of exam, strain of getting higher marks or score, teacher really became puzzled. So he or she wanted to finish the syllabus as early as possible, whether the children is learning or not, this is not their concern. But ultimately, if we are able to change our evaluation system, assessment system, if we involve observation, maybe the children is not good in a mathematics, but he is good in a English or maybe in a geography. So we have to judge him with that of the geography. We will focus geography, but indirectly we will teach her mathematics. And what are the ways? For every particular subject or every particular weak area, we have to focus on interest, but the strategy will be that while we are giving the focus in a particular subject, we have to include other things which will be available to him or her in order to do some of the activities. For example, Earth is moving. So, okay, the children is very happy. She loves geography. Now we can say, what are the speed of the Earth? Why the sun is not giving light at night? Where there is anything dark cloth in between sun and earth? How do you think? So she will start, oh, my interest in geography, but I am not getting light. How should I get the light? Maybe teacher will introduce in some activity through which math will be incorporated with that sort of the subject. So we need a lot of analysis for that. And we have to write our lesson plan newly, getting all the things in our mind, computer programming, maybe you can say brain, how the brain, Patricia mentioned that brain-based learning, it's really very important. In some of the universities, they already started this program. They're shouting, students are shouting, ultimately they became stopped. So they are making a lot of gesture and posture. It communicates with brain and their gesture and posture. Ultimately, they come out with some result. That's really very unique. It is very important for the children, especially those who are reading in the school level. So brain-based learning and activity, if we just incorporate that with that little bite, then I think we might get some beautiful result. Thank you very much for giving me a chance.
Thank you, sir. Nasir sir, are you there? Hello, Nasir sir. Nasiruddin sir, are you there? Hello.
Yes, I am here.
Sir, just
okay, thank you.
Sir, introduce yourself. Just if you would like to say something about our topic, please.
Thank you, Ruxana Momtaz, for giving me the chance to say something about your nice program. I am Nasiruddin, Principal of Kumira Residential Girls School and College, Chattogram, Bangladesh. Thank you, everybody. Ruxana madam.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anything?
Yes, sir.
Nasir sir, how are you?
I am well, sir.
So what the treatment are you going to take for your children right now in COVID situation? How the children are, how the teachers taking care of your student? Can you tell us something about that?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir, for inviting me about today's discussion matter. Today's session, creating brain-friendly classrooms to maximize student learning. It is very important or new concept for our students. Our teachers are traditional teachers. They use traditional methods. I mean, today's subject matter is important, and it is used for a better learning for our students. I mention here brain-friendly schools support different learning styles, promote active involvement, incorporate multimedia, recognize the impact of environmental factors such as noise and lighting, build connections to the world outside the classroom, involvement. I mention here our teacher have to take some initiative, or teachers can utilize the some techniques, strategies to maximize students' learning time and maximize downtime. First of all, better planning and preparation is necessary. Second, buffer the distractions. Create efficient procedures. And eliminate free time. Next on, ensure quick transitions and give clear and concise direction. And lastly, teacher will have to have a backup plan. Our students and teacher have to learn some techniques, then they will get knowledge and experience from their collective effort. Thank you very much, Mr. Samsuddin Ahmed Talukdar.
Sir, I would like to add one important point. 3 years, if I go back to 3 years, some of my colleagues did one wonderful research. Because you know, already someone mentioned, maybe Nidhi mentioned that in our school we are in a pressure because routine time schedule is determined by the people who is not related really with the education. Is one big problem. Second big problem, to adjust lot of this subject, they are not able to allow the period length more than the present one. But we forget, if we allow for a subject long time, then the subject or topic might not be repeated in another class. Ultimately, the time length will be reduced. So my two colleagues did that research by getting government permission. They studied for 2 years. If we just increase the length of the class, then what will happen? For example, if you want to take a science class, your classroom size is so big, at least you have to demonstrate and getting the answer from them. So you need some extra time. If you want to deal with the language, then you have to give them opportunity to handle the language practically. Maybe they will speak with one another, they will play some game. Even in case of finance or other thing, they have to visit the shops and other institutions, and they will watch how they are getting their account. So it really needs time. And they found the result was very excellent. In conclusion, they say, if we increase the time, then our children will learn more. And our classroom number will be reduced, but the understanding will be increased. Ultimately, government agreed with their research proposal, and by having a national meeting, they approved in a state of 40 minutes, our class will be more than 50 or 55 minutes. So our teacher and students are enjoying that sort of facilities. But unfortunately, traditional teacher believe still now 40 minutes is enough. I don't know, still now we need another research why the teacher are thinking 40 minutes is enough. Because their mindset is working like that. if we miss another subject, then the student will not able to learn too much. It might be one of the reasons. But really, those schools took that initiative. They already got very good benefit. Am I right, Mr. Nasiruddin, sir?
Yes. A long class is boring for student as well as teacher.
But the moderate class,
30 minutes class is enough for clear understanding.
Hello, Jangir sir, are you there? Hello, Jangir sir. Okay, maybe he's.
I think if I may have a word.
Shubdeep also mentioned some important factors because he is a science teacher, and really he is facing a lot of problem due to time constraint and for preparing his class and to relate with the real life. This is really big challenging factor in terms of mathematics and science. How should you relate it? Shundip sir, could you please mention how you are managing your class within that small period of time? What are the length of your class?
So may I say?
Yes, sir. I would like to know how are you going to manage your class within that limited time period?
I generally put in a form of humor with them. 35 minutes lecture is there. So I teach very little. I make them only do the sums. I call the intellectual boy in front of the blackboard and ask him how to do the sum. I ask them questions and slowly and gradually they get involved. They start answering. They start giving me the ideas. I tell them to read the examples from the textbook. I give them time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes time to read the sums. And when they read, then I tell them how to do. I ask them questions. Then slowly and gradually they start getting engaged. After getting engaged, they start giving me ideas how to solve it. They have got many wrong ideas, right ideas. And at the end, I clear them that this is the correct method, this is the wrong method. And then I show them in the textbook, if the right method was this one, we should have gone the other way, you would have got the answer. So that makes it more comfortable and they are engrossed in it, doing it. In the same way, when it comes with the example, they are good with it. But when it comes with the exercise part, they are a bit confused. But still, by using the example method on seeing the pages of the example, they start relating the sum with one another sums, connecting the dots, and they get an idea, rough idea they get, how they will be able to reach to their problems. So it becomes a problem-based teaching level. So where they see the problem, they try to search the problem, how the problem was solved in the example. So in the example, they find a small way and they pick up that method and they try to solve this problem. If they reach it well and good, or at the end, I try myself and help them out with that. So that method
In
I
an
use
average,
always.
what is the class size? In an average, what is the class size of your class?
Around 35 students are there and 40 minutes class is there.
35
yeah,
minutes.
35. Yeah.
So
40 minutes.
At the time
40
of
minutes class.
At the time of introduction, you need a very good time. When they are involving, maybe sometime it is quite difficult to reach in a conclusion because you know in mathematics you can do the math in several ways. Maybe some children start to think in another ways, but they are really dependent on textbook due to time restraint. What I understand from you.
Even in
even in SS.
Even in SS and English also, science also the same method. I tell them to read the chapter and then I tell them to explain me in their mother tongue. Exactly what did you understand? Then I ask them the questions from that. Small and similar questions I ask, which are very funny for them. In a very humorous way, I take them down. So when they read the chapter, I make a group of the neighbor who is sitting next to them. So they go on discussing how they have understood. Then I tell them each other to explain. It takes some time, but once they get in a practice of doing it, the second time, third chapter, fourth chapter, they are very comfortable with it. Then they themselves only know that sir is going to do this way. He will tell us to read, he will tell us to explain. So they are prepared mentally with that. So from home only they practice it and compare what we have to say and what we don't have to say. So it becomes a bit more easy for me to teach and them to learn.
You are really very intelligent teacher. You are really innovating something new that within the short time you are managing a very good class. but unfortunately, other teachers are not like that. So in really, we have to make a very unique situation for all the schools on the art. How should they cover up their class to make the student more active? Hello, Jahangir sir, are you there? Yes, yes. Jahangir sir. Yes, sir. No, he is going to arrange his microphone or something like that. Maybe we are here. So,
Here you can
so
see
in case of Nidhi, how do you manage your class?
So, yeah, talking about the time management, as I told, the lesson planning plays a very important role. So as even Sagarika ma'am and even Nasruddin sir, and even as you were also mentioning that we should be dividing in bites. So the lesson planning plays a major role. If the teacher does not do the lesson planning in a right way, then the outcomes will not be as per the expectations. So the lesson planning has to be in a very perfect manner. So it is said like if you're going to prepare for a war, so for your like all the yodhas and all the warriors, so literally 15 to 20 years they are practicing the skill. So similarly, teachers should spend more time in lesson planning and less time in their classroom speaking. That's what I do. But the major constraint.
Absolutely, you are right. But unfortunately, teachers are following a template. Usually, in lecture, they are following the template. They're just using one template and putting some word and changing some word. But they're not thinking deeply what the material they should use that particular time and how should you collect the material. What are the new invention? What I should do? How do I engage the group? And the group is working, then how should I behave with other groups? This should be mentioned within that lesson plan. And you know, keywords are very important for lesson plan. Unfortunately, whenever I want to visit some school, I found very less that teachers are writing their key points. Because you know, if we just emphasize on key points, not to make it clear within that short time, they can make some linking. So really, this is very important, our lesson plan. Jahangir
So
sir?
also Patricia ma'am was also saying that lesson plan should include the social part, cognition part, and also emotional part. More of emotions should also be included in your lesson plan. Because if your lesson plan is of more of technological or more of cognition part is only there, then it will not connect with the student. So here the emotion part also should be considered when you are drafting your lesson plan. And there is one, yes, talking about the period when Nasruddin sir said that the class time plays an important role. So what happens is normally in science classes or other classes, the teacher will start the teacher is giving chance to children roll number wise. And what happens once she starts with roll number 1, 2, 3 and reaches till 20, the other 21 to 40, there is a class of 40, the 21 40, they will never, every time it happens with them, they always complain to the teacher that the teacher always starts from roll number 1 until the time our chance comes, they don't get their chance to express.
Thank you, Nidhi. Here we can see Dr. Sangita Mahajan. Are you there? Hello, Sangita Mahajan. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Go to Jahangir.
Yes.
Okay, Sangita.
In the
Okay, Sangita, first introduce yourself and I will raise the questions. Please, Sangita.
Okay.
Let's start.
Thank you. I follow in the classroom 4 steps in the classroom for brainstorming. First, I make a group of the students. According to the roll call, I make even and odd numbers and gather even number roll number students and odd roll number students. So prepare groups of the students. According to that, then I present the problem before them. Explain the problem that I hope to correct or I want to make information from that. So the goal is that sure that everyone works toward a common solution. So I want the conversation in the classroom or the ideas may be spread out in the target group. So like that, this is the second step. The third one is I will guide the discussion. Once I have given the outline, the problem, the students start the brainstorming session in the classroom. And after presenting the idea, they talk with each other and try to give the solution to the problem. So they are talking and sharing, and I, whenever they need, I will guide them properly. If they are wrong, I will correct them. After that, step 4, I take action. At some point, the brainstorming session must end. So I need to decide which of the ideas have merits and which have demerits. So according to that, I take action. For example, mind map. This is the technique for in the classroom. I make a mind map. According to that, for example, I'm giving them a problem like a global warming. So according to global warming, what are the problems will created under this crisis? Environmental problems, political problems, geographical, economic, human factors also affected. So according to that mind map, the students will discuss on that and they will present before me what they have discussed or what they are feeling. So according to those 4 steps I use in the classroom. Thank you, Mamtaz ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Shangita.
Dr. Shangita, I'm interested
Yes,
to know, whenever you are doing the lesson plan, are you using computer?
Sorry, sir.
When you are producing your lesson plan, then are you using computer?
Computer? No, sir.
Oh, and you know, I in one school, once I told them as an advisor, you have to make your lesson plan in computer. One unique format
Okay.
I just produced and I distribute them. And I told them, if you need, you can adjust by changing some of the points. And you know,
Okay, thank you, sir.
some mental ideas, thinking and procedure are same. So if we just write down it in another page, we have to just copy and paste. So we can easily reproduce it. Maybe we have to change some words and ideas. Because
Yeah,
you know,
sure,
if a teacher takes too much load, sometimes she is failed to make a proper lesson plan. I would like to introduce some of the teacher, those who are in my college and getting training. Here is Mr. Habibur Rahman. Would you please unmute yourself, Habibur Rahman?
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You
Thank
please
you very much,
introduce
sir.
yourself. They are very new in a webinar. Maybe this is their first
Yes, sir.
time. And I told them today night, a few minutes ago, you please join. You just meet with some of our friends and colleagues, those who are the renowned teacher, and you just see there are some very powerful teacher, good thinker, innovator, and you just tell your identity. You are Mr. Habibur
Yes,
Rahman,
sir.
and from where are you?
Thank you very much, sir. I am very much delighted to meet some of great teachers of the world. And I'm very much excited, and I would like to thank my dear teacher, my favorite teacher, Mr. Samsuddin Talukdar. And for this person, I can meet like a great teacher like you.
You should.
I would like to introduce myself.
Yes.
I am Mr. Habibur Rahman. I am from Sylhet district, a district known district from Bangladesh. You know, everybody knows the Sylhet. We live here, and I come here for training. The training is ICT based, and we come here from Learn ICT and how we can use it in our education and how can we improve our teaching method. And I am very lucky to have a training, and here our teacher is very much inspire us. And
Okay,
I think
Rahman,
every
sir,
teacher.
would you please tell the name of other two colleagues sit beside you?
Sir, here some of colleague is you can see here. He's Mr. Mustafa Kamal. He's also from Sylhet. He's Mr. Shumon Kanti Sarkar. He's from Sunamganj.
So today, why I bring you here, you know, art is very small. If you wish, in every week, you can talk with any teacher of any part of the art. Right now, we are doing it. Still now, I have more than 100 friends from the foreign country. We are talking regularly about your ideas and thinkings, and you can join with them. And I would like to meet with you, Mamotaz Roxana. Really, she is doing very great work from Bangladesh chapter, We Bangladesh chapter, and she is inviting us to join in a meeting. And you just said, can you see Roxana Akhtar? Hello, Haibur Rahman sir.
Yes,
Here
sir.
is the Roxana
Yes, sir.
Akhtar. Roxana Akhtar, would you please tell them welcome? Hello, Roxana Akhtar.
Yes, sir.
Would you welcome them?
I would like to request, sir, please join us. We Bangladesh chapter, World Dedicated Bangladesh chapter.
Thank you very much, madam. I will join.
Okay, thank you. So today is your first day, and it is very exciting day for you. And I hope it will be a memorable day for you. You can take a snapshot, so you can got these faces in future, and you can just talk with them. So we are sharing our ideas with one another. So if you wish, you can take one snapshot or mobile shot, so you will get us very easily. So thank you very much for joining here. In future, if I talk with another people, I will invite you to come with me, and I am planning here each and everybody will come in my program in Shams Study Zone, and I will give them a particular topic to talk with our teacher, and it will really enhance your understanding of education, how the art is moving now. So again, I would like to thank you. Mamotaz, please take the microphone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
sir, both of you. In this instance, I would like to, Sagorika, please. Sagorika, can you hearing to me?
Yeah.
Okay. As in USM, I would like to want to know, does all learning occur in the brain?
Yes, totally.
Totally. I would like to say, Sagorika is a writer of a very good
and
book.
Why?
I saw it in Facebook. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, go on. Go on.
Yeah. So, of course, learning happens through the brain. Learning happens through all our senses. Learning when I talk of sense, I spoke about visual learning. So, and emotions also, as Patricia rightly said, you know. So, but then, yes, but then maximum learning takes place through the brain, that is through visualization. Through visualization, as I said. And when I say learning takes place through the brain, it is also because of the release of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. That is where the maximum, that is what aids learning. That is exactly what aids learning. And talking of the left brain and the right brain, also to support Mr. Talukdar, you spoke about everything we spoke about timetable, we spoke about bite size information, we spoke about everything. But when we come to pedagogy, the way our textbooks are also designed, is actually not keeping in mind the left brain and the right brain. It doesn't support the neuroscience perspective. I mean, the educators or the researchers don't support the neuroscience perspective while developing textbooks. You know, textbooks have to be such that if one chapter is very analytical, the other chapter has to be creative, or maybe even in one chapter, there has to be both ways of dealing with it, you know. So textbooks matter a lot. The way textbooks are to be written also we need to consider the neuroscience factor of this. And once if the textbook is written keeping the neuroscience factor in it, the brain in it, automatically the classrooms will become very engaging, will become extremely engaging, and learning would be maximized.
Thank you.
Learning would be maximized, because you need to look at the holistic development of a child. Whenever you're doing one particular topic, you need to look it has to be interconnected. Everything has to be interconnected, you know. So
for that reason, Dr. Shagorika, for that reason, we need to talk about it in webinar with our teachers, because we have to introduce it, because those who are the policy maker, they are their age is more than 50 or 55. They're not
and policy makers are not educators. The problem is that policy makers are not educators, you know.
That's one thing. And another thing, in third world, where the curriculum board or maybe the body, 50% people are not pedagogists. They are just joining there directly. They are not understanding what is the root of the education.
Everyone is working in silos. Everyone is working in silos. And as a result of it, the outcome is not the desired outcome that actually we are looking out for. That's the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge I think we are facing. But I would really like Patricia and the ones who are from different countries to even comment on this. Is this the same over there? Because here everyone, the policy makers are different, the researchers are different, the ones who are writing the books are different, and the teachers are teaching them, you know. So all silos, we are not reaching anywhere.
Thank you.
So the problem we are
for that reason, we have to focus in our every discussion, whenever we'll get the platform, whenever we are talking with other teacher of the other part of the world, we have to introduce why the understanding of brain is very important in education. In this way, we can just push and we can just make some back pressure. So this is very important. Thank you, Shagorika.
Thank you. Patricia, in this, I would like to stress to Patricia, how can we be able to create learning environment for different diversity of students?
How can we, sorry, repeat that?
I repeat it. How can we be able to create learning environment for different diversity students? Is it possible to organize different environment in the same classroom and in the same time? How and why?
Well, before starting with this, I want to mention something that was not present when we were talking about the class size, the number of students, and the time devoted to each class. Brain breaks. Brain breaks are very important, but they are not present. I normally use them and they are great because after students have been working for 20 minutes, the brain gets tired. So they need some new oxygen. So the class is interrupted suddenly and they start something completely different from what they have been doing for 20 minutes. So they may start dancing, playing, doing some relaxing exercises, or just listening to music, maybe great brain breaks. So I think that we need to advise this type of interruptions so that the students rechange energy and they can go on learning. Sometimes we may think that the amount of time, for example, working for an hour is too much. But if we divide the class, the thing is that we divide the content into chunks, as Shamsuddin has said, but we also should divide the class into chunks so that the students may become more productive if there is a sudden interruption. So it doesn't matter if the period lasts for 1 hour. The thing is that we need to be smart enough and use this type of
Patricia, you know, Dr. Shagorika has already started this sort of things. She gave more emphasis on sports rather than classroom activity. So in between, if there is anything which will motivate our children to do more work, what you said, making a chunk, so you have to make some new ideas where they can energize to repack their task. And Dr. Shagorika already, I think, in a pandemic situation, he did a lot of experiments with that. Am I right, Dr. Shagorika?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll just quickly give you a brain. What she says is the brain breaks, you know. Brain breaks can also be just the children, just give them a 5 minute, ask them to join their fingers like this and you take this clockwise, anti-clockwise,
Brain
then this
gym.
clockwise,
Let you all do
anti-clockwise.
it.
Yes,
That's
you all do it, you know, and it's a very beautiful left brain, right
Fantastic.
brain exercise. Very beautiful. And children really get very fresh. After doing this, they get very
Very
fresh, and then you
nice.
can do the next concept. Then you can also do this clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, you know.
Very
So this is
small
what
thing,
it is.
but very effective.
Yes,
Very
very
small
effective.
thing, but very effective. This is
Very
really
effective.
very good.
So
Yeah,
this type,
Patricia, go on.
this type, yes, we have 1 minute left, so we are finishing.
Yeah, finishing. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Patricia. Now we need to finish. Something need to be said before.
Well, I think
Shamsuddin, sir.
I'm
think
very
that the-
grateful for your long time with me and to help me make the program a success. I have learned a lot from your
Mamutaz,
talk and valuable
Shandis
discussion.
sir
Yes,
wants
sir.
to tell me something.
Yes, sir.
It's
Shandis
going to
sir,
go now. The school
last
will be
minute.
over.
Shamsuddin,
Last
sir, I
minute.
would like to have the format of your lesson plan. If you can pass it to
you just
Rukhsana
give
ma'am,
your
I'll get
email
it. Get
number
a mail
to
from her.
Mamutaz. You just give
Yeah, I'll
your
get it
email
from her.
number
No
to
problem.
Mamutaz.
Yes.
Then
Yes,
I
sir.
will
Yes,
send
sir.
Yeah,
it.
I'll send
If
it.
you can, we will rejoin.
Yeah. No.
You want to
okay,
rejoin
done.
to high time. Anyway,
Done,
but
done,
once
hi.
we rejoin and then we'll finish it. Okay.
Okay.
So you need a lesson plan, right?
Yeah. Format of your
I
format
can
of your
provide
lesson
you
plan.
one structure of a lesson plan. Then you can just
Yeah.
readjust.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
If
Sure.
other people want, I will send it to their mail so they can
Yeah.
work on it.
Okay.
Okay,
Really, I
bye.
got very.
I think
Okay.
it's going to go. We are going to leave. It's going to go again. Yeah.
Okay.
You just
1 minute
finish
left.
Mamutaz today.
Thank you very
It's
much.
good,
Okay.
do
Thank
high
you so
time and
much
Thank
for
you.
having me here.
so after finishing, we will not come back.
Yes,
Okay.
See you again
Yes, sir.
at
Bye-bye.
next time in
Thank
any
you.
moment.
Bye-bye. Thank
So
you.
thank you
Next
very
time.
much. Pray
Bye
for
bye all
me.
of you. Bye bye all of you.
I'm grateful.
Okay.
Really, I am grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you talking.
Thank you.
Dopamine is coming in my head
Yes.
as you talking too much. I'm enjoying. Thank you very much
Okay.
for
Thank you.
We
you.
learn
giving
all
me
together.
to relax.
Yes.
Hope to
Yeah,
see you
yes,
next
yes.
Well,
week.
bye.
Bye.
Topics